Hello, my name is Jasmine Jones, and I am a licensed clinical social worker, and you're now watching Black Girl, a Therapist in the Wild. And this is a little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews. And today we are reviewing the movie Jagged Mind on Hulu, and we are sipping on absinthe and fruit punch. How y'all doing? So I want to say thank you for all the views I got on my interview with the vampire video, and thank you for the new subscribers that I have. How y'all doing? So, just some rules about my channel, or just some shit that you gonna see that some of y'all may not like, and if you don't, you can always unsubscribe, and it is okay. But we are unapologetically black here. My shows that I review will mostly likely always have a black lead as one of the main characters, at least one black lead as the main character. We are pro-Palestine, pro-Sudan, pro-Congo, pro-Haiti, and pro whatever other country is being genocided right now, and all the things, and pro LGBTQIA+, all the things that make you a decent human being. So there will be talk of white supremacy and racism and black mental health, but also just mental health in general. So a lot of this stuff is just going to apply to everybody, but some of it is going to be specific to black culture. And if you do not enjoy talks of white supremacy, if you are too fragile to hear about possibly your own people doing fuck shit, it's okay to unsubscribe from the channel. I am perfectly fine, because I know you came in probably on Interview with a Vampire that had a plethora of different characters from different backgrounds and shit like that, and you probably thought some shit, but no. So if you do stay, you probably will learn some things about yourself and the people that you engage with. And you probably pick up a new show if you don't tend to watch black shows and stuff. I also do videos on 90s movies that I grew up on and stuff. I call them the 90s rewind, or the early 2000s rewind. So for those who decide to stay, I hope you enjoyed my channel and you learned some things, and sit back and have a great time. And for those who decide to leave without commenting, please, because if you don't like something and it doesn't apply to you, then you could just not say anything and walk on by, because you're not going to change my mind. I'm just going to ignore your comment and just count it as another view towards getting me some money to be able to have better production and a more relaxed life. So tis what it is, honey bunches. So anyways, let's get into the movie. So this ain't the greatest movie in the world, but I love the plot, and I wanted to watch it a minute ago, but I never did. And then after Interview with a Vampire, I was just like, I don't want to do another show. Doing a show is long and it's exhausting. So I decided to do this movie because I've been wanting to watch it. But anyway, so this movie is basically about this, I think she biracial, or she might be light skinned, but this black woman, her name is Billy, and she is having these memory issues. So in the beginning of the movie, she's at this bar, right? And she meets this white woman, and I don't know, she got a thing for white people and others. She don't be dating black people, is what I'm noticing within. And the thing is, that the reason why I note it is because both these bitches she dating is toxic as fuck. So I'm just questioning you, Billy, because you be saying woke shit like, a seat at the table and blah, blah, blah. But then you date if you go on a date outside, at least date people that aren't toxic. I'm just, but anyway, so she's at this bar, right? And she meets this white woman. But she has to go real quick because she has to go to this artist viewing of this woman called Rose. But they can hit it off, they talking, they chilling. But then her ex texts her, because her ex is at the thing and they on and get off again. She be fucking her, and then they be like the girl be ghosting her and shit the next day. So her ex a piece of shit. She just wants some ass sometimes, and Billy don't like herself enough to just say no. So she leave the girl, right? And then like she goes to the art viewing, her ex is there, she about to get it on with her ex, and then all of a sudden she timey-wimey shit. And then next thing you know, she back at the bar again. And then she does it. No, the first time she makes it to fuck. No, I think she makes no. In the beginning, she's fucking her ex, and then it rewinds back to the bar, and then she meets her ex at the place. They end up fucking again, and then the next day her ex ain't in bed with her. She ghosted her, and then she goes for a jog, and she sees this old Haitian dude trying to talk to her, and then she gets scared, and then it rewinds again, and then she back at the. So third time is the charm. So the third time she's at the bar, she meets the white bitch again, right? And then she invites. So this time her ex doesn't text her at the bar. This time, she just looks at her phone and sees that she's late to the art gallery showing and stuff. And so she decides to invite this white woman to the art gallery showing with her. Get there, and the other people are like, because the ex is working with her and some other folks on the art gallery, they're curators or some shit. And like they like, where is she at? She didn't show up. And so she was just like, she just ghosted everybody, and then end up going to the white girl house and getting it on, and then wake up in the morning, and then the white girl's like, oh, let me make you the best breakfast ever. Girl, she made her like a couple of dry looking asparaguses and a couple of dry looking sunny side up eggs. No, you're supposed to burn sunny side up, just a tinge, and then make sure you season it well. And she was like, I make the best breakfast ever. And I was just looking at her like, and a couple sausages. And I was like, first and foremost, breakfast food is easy to make because I can make it and I can't cook and I don't enjoy cooking. And it's like, you need to try my pancakes. And so I guess they fucking and they together and they doing stuff. And they decide to get into like a relationship. But during the course of this, like, she's having these weird ass dreams of her dying over and over again. And then she's like having these weird ass like side by side memories. She'll be in the same moment, but like something different happens. Like her ex is like, or her girlfriend is like going off and shit. So they decide to get together, right? And this is when she starts seeing that side by side, because like, when they decide to get together, I guess in one of the memories, the waiter didn't chill the champagne or some shit, and her ex goes the fuck off. And that's when you first realize that this bitch is crazy. Something's wrong with her. She has some kind of issue. And I tend to define crazy as, because I know people don't like to say it, but I tend to define it as people that get off on hurting other people and they don't want to heal. So like the Jeffrey Dahmers or the serial abusers and manipulators, they just get off on that shit and they don't want to heal. That's crazy. Like, you just want to live the rest of your life just hurting people and never doing anything about. No, you're crazy. Get the fuck away from me. Like, you're toxic. Like, anybody that touches you will die. Like, so like she yelling at this waiter because the champagne isn't chill. She's like, it's $1,000 bottle of champagne, and the girl just sitting there like blanked out. And then she comes to, and the girlfriend hadn't done that in this reality, but she had did it in a different reality. So basically what's happening here is this white woman is using voodoo magic to take this woman's blood, and she got this crystal that will turn back time so that she can redo shit when she wants to, when she uses the blood of this woman to specifically target her time. And the woman don't know about it, and so she thinks she's having memory problems because her mom had dementia and shit. I guess maybe it was early onset, and that's why she's scared that it's gonna happen to her or something. And so she's thinking that's what's going on with her brain. Like, she was in the shower after having sex with the woman the first time, and she like was having the flashbacks of this woman of various different times that she died. And like she freaked out and hit her head on the back of the shower and woke up in the hospital. And they were talking about, oh, well, your brain looks all fucked up and shit. We don't know what's going on. And what? It doesn't exactly look like dementia, but something's going on. And I'm just like, girl, first and foremost, white people can't do voodoo or hoodoo. Like, the gods originate the I think it's called the Lua. I think that's what they're called. If I'm wrong, you can correct me in the bottom very politely and things. They originated from Africa. Like, you can't worship gods where your ancestors like decimated their people and their land and their ancient places. Like, you can't worship, like, voodoo and hoodoo and stuff involves calling on your ancestors. So what you gonna call on your ancestors and the voodoo god, and you gonna call on your great grandpappy that blew away his fucking village where people were worshiping him at? Like, I mean, it's the same thing with the native Europeans. Like, so there are natives in Europe that they killed. They killed their own natives off first before they killed everybody else off. See, bullying starts in the home. So they do it to themselves first because they don't like themselves. And then in order to control the feeling of not like the cultural feeling of just not liking themselves, then they go and they do it to everyone else, because that's the only way that they feel that they can cope with the feeling of being less than and the skin burning off in the sun and all this other stuff. That's why every time black people tried to build up like nice little cities for themselves, like in Central Park or Tulsa, they would just come and destroy that shit, because they can't stand seeing the people that they consider less than doing better than them, because they don't consider themselves as better and they don't like themselves culturally. That's what's been fed into these people. Let's do a history lesson, because I want y'all coming for me like, why you? Because narcissism and sociopathy is a cultural, systematic thing in white people, and white people do not acknowledge these things, because if they did, then they could probably heal and be better human beings. But it goes all the way back to Rome taking over Europe. Like, you trying to take over the Rome's goal was to take over the entire continent, all of it, the Middle East, everything. And they got Roman streets in fucking Eastern Europe and shit, because they didn't like themselves. And they said the only way you can be great is through power and control and narcissism and sociopathy. And then you got the Crusades. Oh, let's use Christianity to blanket the world and kill our own people, and then kill the Muslim people. But it was a masquerade to just steal people's treasures and land and things like that. And then you got colonialism. See, these are generational traumas. Abusers are traumatized people. They just went towards the side of the abuser rather than the passive people over here that are just like regular folks that have empathy. They're just like depressed, or they got bipolar or schizophrenia or some shit like that. They went towards the space of sociopathy and narcissism in their culture. And then, you got colonialism, slavery. All of this is just a continuous repeat of power and control. And until white people recognize these things in their culture and actively work to diminish these things, then we just gonna keep suffering in this world. So anyways, they killed off their native people, the Celts, the Romanis. They called them witches, and that was the witch hunt. And like, you can't have somebody with Welsh ancestral English blood or Spaniard blood whose ancestors killed the Celts decide that they're going to worship or Celts. I think they're Celts that killed the Celts, and then decide that they're going to worship Celtic gods. No, your great grandpappy blew up the temple that was used to worship the Celtic gods. So it's the same thing with the voodoo gods. So first and foremost, this movie is a moot point, because like, you ain't gonna call on Papa Legba and your ancestor, Mr. Slave Master, at the same time and think that Papa Legba is going to be okay with that. Like, I'm confused. So in reality, if this white bitch had been using voodoo and hoodoo and using the incantations of the Haitian Creole and shit, she would have blew herself up and died. Like, the deities probably would have killed her. But for the sake of the movie, no, how you go and think that these are spiritual beings. Like, I believe in spirituality. This may not be my personal like religion or nothing, but I respect every religion, and I believe that, I believe in God, but like I respect every religion, and I believe that if you disrespect other people's religion, you gonna have shit coming after you and shit. And so I don't understand how you thought that a religion no, because there's white people out there that will try to argue you down, talk about, I could do voodoo, I could do. How can you do voodoo and hoodoo when you have to call on your ancestors to do shit like that, along with the Lua, and like, you think they trying to be in the same room as your great grandmammy that like was killing slaves and shit? Like, why would you think? Why would, even if you got a slavery black person in your lineage, like, why do you think that particular ancestor would want to be in the room with the slave master ancestor that raped them? Like, you see, it doesn't work like that. Like, it doesn't. White people can't do voodoo and hoodoo. You just can't. And if you try, God bless you. Cause you might just disappear, girl. Like, you might just not be on this plane anymore. And I don't know. But anyways, so she using this crystal to rewind time every time she fuck up. And I just love the plot of it. That's all I love about it, is like, cause without the magic, this is what them abusing ass motherfuckers want to do. They just want to just abuse you and then act like it never happened. And now she got a little magic crystal to make it like it never happened, but you low-key putting holes in this woman's brain and causing her to die over time, because you got to use her blood in order to rewind the time, because it's about her life and shit like that. So I just feel like, that's some horrible ass shit. And so, like, she rewinds every time she fucks up. She rewinds the time like some weird ass sociopath that just wants to say. And my thing is, she keeps talking about, like, so the girl ends up in the hospital another time after passing out with this woman. And I was just wondering, this girl ain't questioning shit. She ain't questioning these memories. I mean, I know you got this hereditary shit, but you keep saying stuff like you don't even really know this woman like that. You feel like you don't know her deep down and shit. And I'm just like, you saying, so you got a hint that something's off here. I mean, when you trapped in these abusive ass relationships, especially when people messing with your memory and shit, like, in reality, you would just be dissociating over and over again. When this first started, I thought she was drugging her somehow. But the thing was that it kept rewinding the whole day, and everybody else was rewinding too. So then I was like, well, what's going on? When they were using voodoo, I started laughing. I was like, this white bitch ain't no voodoo priestess. Shut up. I hated it. No, because in reality, they would probably get hurt, seriously injured, harmed by these spiritual beings. So, like, she ended up in the hospital, and she questioning shit, and she just like telling this girl, like, I don't really know, like, because the girl's trying to pressure her to move in, and she don't want to move in with this girl. She's just like questioning shit. It's been, and in her reality at the moment, it's been 6 months, right? But this bitch done been rewinding time over and over again. So one time it was 8 months. I don't know how many times she actually rewound the time and shit, but it's been a minute that they've been talking to each other. And so, like, this woman gonna go like, I want everything to be perfect. Don't you want to have a perfect relationship? And she was like, no, love is in, like, the ups and downs and shit. Like, and the girl was just staring at her and shit, like, she didn't understand because she's narcissist, she's weird. And then they gonna say, like, oh, it's the crystal that makes you act crazy and shit. And I'm just like, I just feel like it wasn't all the crystal. I just feel like it wasn't all the crystal. I feel like there was some deeper, like, like, because at the end, like, when everything gets figured out, like, she goes back in time, back to the bar where she first meets the girl. She turns down the girl's drink, and the girl gets kind of mad, like, why she turn me down? What did she say? Oh my God. And I was just like, why does it matter? Like, What? See, I don't think it was just all the crystal. It probably just makes the worst part of us worser than it would have been without the crystal. But that shit was already in there. Like that shit was. It probably wasn't that deep, but there was some manipulative bones up in there that just you got fed into. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways. So, anyways, like she in and out the hospital with these weird ass like passing out and shit. They go to her friends like her friend's son's birthday party and shit. This shit was funny to me. So in one of the timelines, like the little kid runs up to them to say hi, and I guess he gets chocolate on the woman's her name Alex, gets chocolate on Alex's clothes. Like you wearing all white to a kid's party. That's all I have to say about that. You're wearing all white to a kid's party. And like, what did you expect? He gets chocolate all on her clothes, and so she pushes him on the ground and start cussing him out. And I guess she had to rewind time after that because she cussing out a little kid and basically abused him. And so this time they're there, and she just dodges out the way when he comes, and he falls on the ground. And I was just like, I just feel like it's just as bad as you pushing him because you knew he was gonna fall. You knew, girl, whatever, girl. So Billy, that's the name of the main character, she goes to wipe his little hands off, and then her friend Kim comes over and talks to the new girl Alex, and she was just like, I'm so happy you're here. Her ex was trash, and this girl, her ex was nothing compared to this bitch, but you don't know yet. And so she's jealous of Kim because she's like crazy and shit, and she can't let Billy be herself. Like I said in the interview with the vampire video, if you don't let people be individuals and allow them to have their outside things that make them feel good, then they're not going to be the people that you met in the beginning. Because those are the things that made them that way. Those are the things that made them happy and, oh my gosh, magnetic and made you want to talk to them and stuff like that. You take away everything that makes them happy. You take away their whole identity. And then now they become a shell of themselves. And now you mad. Now you mad because they ain't like they were in the beginning. Why would they be? You're not going to be the only source of happiness for this person because you weren't before you came into their lives. Like, that's not how human beings work. Human beings need self-care and hobbies and friends and things to help grow them and make them into better people and shit. And if you take all that shit away, they're not gonna be that same bitch. So, but you mad because she got a friend and you just like, oh, that your friend, you trying to fuck her and blah blah blah. So she gonna lie to her friend and be like, well, because they went out the other night. And she mad because her and her friend went out the other night. So she gonna lie to her friend and be like, well, like Billy said that you struggling financially and it's hard for you to go out and stuff. So, if you ever need help, Billy ain't never said nothing like that. And so Kim gets mad, but let me be that friend. Cause Billy's sitting right over there and bitch. And I seen way too many movies where some scenarios like this came up. And if she did say it, it's just gonna embarrass both of them. I'll be like, hey, Billy, your girl over here said that you said I was poor. What's up with that? Because that's the type bitch I am. So either it's going to embarrass the girlfriend or it's going to embarrass both them niggas. But don't be talking shit about me behind my back and then have your bitch come up to me talking about shit that I may or may not have told you. What the fuck is wrong with you? So I'm gonna say it out loud. That's that bitch I am, because I've seen too many scenarios like this in movies where people try to split people up and tell you one thing that when the person didn't even say that shit just to keep you away from that person. I say it in front of everybody. That's how you commandeer that moment. She got mad and didn't say nothing to her. And then she let it sit on her chest. And then she had an attitude with Billy and went over there, and Billy was trying to clean the little boy's hands off. And she was like, I can do it. And then Billy got up and walked over to Alex, and she was just like, what happened with Kim? What did you say to her? And then Kim gonna lie to Billy. Alex gonna lie to Billy and be like, well, she was acting weird, and she was saying how, like, with your memory loss, you might need help with stuff, and da-da-da. And I was just like, I just feel like you know Kim longer. Has Kim ever said shit like that to you before? Would Kim ever say shit like that to the person that you fucking? She didn't even like the last person you was fucking, but you gonna believe this bitch out top, girl? Both of y'all bitches need to get your shit together. Why would you believe this bitch off top like that? I'm confused. Are we not grown? Are we not mature enough to be able to say shit out loud to people? Because I would just say it out loud and embarrass that bitch. But whatever. This is the movie, and no, because it's too risky. Why would you tell two lies at the same time to two different people and then not think that these people are going to talk to each other? Like, fuck is wrong with you? But that's how them narcissistic, sociopathic, abusive people are. They just be like thinking that they're going to get away with a bunch of shit, that everybody else is stupid and they're smart, until some stupid shit happen like this, and then people be talking to each other, and then you get called out and then you look stupid. Like I said, in real life, if I was Kim, I would have just said the shit like, "Hey, Billy, your girl over here talking shit," and let the chips fall where they may. Your squad. So, anyways, we go back to Alex has been trying to pressure Billy into moving in with her. Like, she's just like, you gotta move in with me. You gotta move in with me. Da, 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 da. And then this is what's pushing Billy away, because Billy is having these memory issues. And then this bitch is saying stuff like, well, no one else is gonna love you with these memory. Because Alex can't hide that she got problems. Like, that's what keeps fucking it up. Like, you keep rewinding time trying to make these perfect situations and scenarios, but you can't hide the fact that you got problems, girl. That's what's fucking it up. It's not Billy fucking it up. It's you fucking it up for your damn self, because you don't want to take responsibility for your actions and how much of a fucked up person you are. You keep blaming Billy, and then at the very end, when Billy ends up breaking up with you, you kill her and then start all over again. Like, oh, we gotta back to the drawing board. The drawing board is that you need to go to therapy, bitch. Like, the drawing board is that you probably need to be single for a little bit, bitch. That's the drawing board. Not let's kill everybody. But anyway, so the last time she asked her to move in with her, she goes home and Billy is just chilling at the house, and like, she's on the computer and she looks up the photographer in the beginning, because so the photographer, the artist that they did the curation for, she had been trying to tell her to remember something. So in one iteration, she had grabbed her face and she was like, remember. And the girl was just looking at her like she was crazy. And then the voodoo priest, every time she was walking down that same street in Little Haiti, he would be trying to come up to her saying, remember, in like Haitian Creole. And she was just scared of him. She was just frightened of him. She wouldn't go near him. And then I guess at some point the photographer slipped her little headshot into Billy's bag, and while Billy was at the hospital, before Alex left, she pulled out the picture and was like, what's this? And then on the back of it said remember. And so Alex all of a sudden gets up and she's like, oh, I gotta go do something real quick. And she's like, are you sure? Are you okay? Oh. And so anyways, she leaves the hospital, and then Kim finally tells her what Alex said about her saying that she was poor and shit, and Billy's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say that. And then Kim, of course, fucks it up because she was like, well, I mean, with your memory and shit, girl, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, don't, because there's a possibility that she didn't say that shit. Don't do that. And so, of course, Billy gets mad, walks away from Kim, goes home. She looks up the photographer online because this is picking at her, and she having these random ass flashbacks and shit. And so she want to know, like, why this photographer put remember in her bag. And so she looks her up and she's going through her art and shit, and she sees a picture of Alex that's in Alex's house. So Alex never said that she knew that photographer. And so she digs deeper and finds the photographer's studio. Why is your studio your home? And why is that easy to find on the internet? Like, I have an office that, I go to do work on the days that I work, but niggas ain't got, my home address isn't just freely on my business stuff. Like, what? Why would you have your home address? Because her studio is in her home. Why would you have that just freely on the internet and shit for people to find? Girl, and then she like just in the house taking a shower with like no one can break in your shit. Like, no, people are crazy, and they will objectify you and make up some shit in their head about who they think you are, and make up some weird ass fantasy, and then think that you want them to come to your house or some shit. They'll just make that shit up, and then they'll come to your house, and then they'll realize that you never wanted them to come to your house, and then they'll kill you and shit because you don't match the fantasy they made up about you in their head. That's what happens. That's how people end up stalked and shit by crazy people and shit. And we ain't playing them motherfucking games. I got that thing on me. I'll stab you, nigga. No, fuck all that. People are crazy. They out here doing stuff, making shit up because they don't like themselves, and so they need to make up a fantasy about somebody else in their head so they don't feel lonely and shit, and then they want to kill you and shit. Girl, you got me fucked up. You got to learn how to like yourself. Love yourself, honey. So anyway, she goes to Rose's house, and she goes up, and Rose dead in the shower with her wrist slit and shit. So it's made it look like a suicide because we all know Alex did it. Alex did that shit, but Billy don't know yet that Alex did that shit. And then she goes downstairs, and I guess she finds this box that has that she kept remembering in her flashbacks, and so she took the box with her, and in the box has this journal that is it's saying Alex isn't trustworthy and all this other stuff in it. And then there's this flash drive, and the flash drive shows her in the voodoo priest shop with Rose, and Rose is telling her about the crystal and how Alex is rewinding time, and how this box, if whatever you put in this box, it will stay in the time that it needs to stay in. This is timey-wimey shit like from Doctor Who and shit. And so she basically tells her to keep a journal and save the dates and write stuff down in it and put it in a box, so that'll jog her memory, because if the more she's able to remember, she will be able to stop this bitch. And so basically she told her to get the crystal from the bitch and take the bitch blood and rewind time back to before even Rose met Alex, and then give the crystal to the voodoo priest. So she basically is about to there's a spell in the journal in there, and she so she's trying to put all the stuff in the box, because basically Alex comes to the house while she has the box. And so she closes the box, and Alex isn't paying attention to it because, she's not a real voodoo person. She would have recognized it if she saw it, but whatever. And so Alex is trying to talk to her, and then she just is like, do you know Rose Parker? And Alex is like, Rose, isn't she the photographer? Ooh, I think she did some work for me before. She shot my photos before. She trying to play it off and shit. And then Billy was like, no, there's pictures of y'all coupled up on the internet. And so Alex can't lie about that. So basically she's like, I mean, yeah, we was fucking, but she had mental health issues, and she was always trying to kill herself and da da da. And she's like, well, she dead now, and of course Alex is like whatever about it. She's just like, well, artists here one day, gone the next. Billy's just like, this ain't fucking her changing her hair color, bitch. So Alex just don't give a shit about nobody, and I just feel like it's not all the crystal. I don't care. And so, then Alex says, oh, well, she was always threatening to slit her wrist, and da-da-da. And Billy's just like, what do you mean slit her wrist? I didn't say she slit her wrist. I said she killed herself. And then Alex try to gaslight her and be like, oh, you don't be remembering shit and whatever. And then Billy grabbed a butcher knife and was like, get out of my house. And then Alex just standing there smiling. So apparently she just does this thing, the narcissist smirk and shit like that, where she just be like, well, okay, well, I'll see you later. Because she knows she gonna go home and rewind time and see her later and shit. And I'm just like, you bitch. No, because you ain't about to control my shit like that. You ain't about to. No, I cannot be trapped. I have things that I like to do. And I don't mind a relationship. A dude come along and we in a nice thing. But don't try to stop me from doing shit that makes me happy. You can join me sometimes on the shit that makes me happy. And then sometimes I'll join you on the shit that makes you happy. But you're not about to stop my shit, nigga. You ain't about to be like, well, you like to read and then burn all my fucking books and shit. Nigga, you ain't gonna wake up the next day. Cause you gotta sleep sometimes. I might not be able to take you when you awake, nigga, but bet you gotta sleep sometimes, nigga. No. Just taking away things that make you happy and shit. Like, we're not doing that. And so, like, this bitch just is like, well, I'll see you, like, cause she knows she gonna rewind time and basically trap the bitch again. So before she rewinds time, she's able to like write something in the journal, and then she's like barely able to make it to put it in the box, and then doop doop doop, we rewound the day, and Alex is leaving her house after they fucked and shit, and she done forgot. So she sees the box on the table, and she opens it, and she rereads the journal, and then that's when she started plotting. So Alex take her on a little vacation to one of her family's homes. This is some rich white bitch. Her family got money. They got multiple houses and shit. So she take her on a vacation to her little family home and shit. And like she trying to like memorize the spell that she needs to memorize so that she can like, rewind time on a bitch. And like, so she try to play it off, and then she get to the pool, and she basically is standing there like dissociating, going in and out of time and stuff, remembering everything because she has the crystal with her. And then Alex comes up to her and sees that she has the crystal with her, and she's just like, like the evil villain in the cliffhanger of the movie where they just telling all the secrets and shit of what they did and what they gonna do and shit like that. And I rewound time, and you can't take care of yourself, and gaslight, blah 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 bullshit, and blah 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 blah. And so she basically like gets the crystal from her. But she didn't see that she pocketed the little knife in the crystal that you use to get the blood on and shit. And so she gonna try to stab her in the neck with the knife and shit, like that was gonna do something. This bitch grabbed a bottle and bust her in her face, and she fell on the ground. I was just like, why did you think that knife was gonna... what did you think stabbing her with this little itty bitty knife that's like this big was gonna do? Like, that wasn't gonna, like, you had to do something to stop her first before. So basically, I think she stabbed her with the broken bottle bit. She wasn't knocked out, and she stabbed her with the broken bottle bits, got the knife, got the crystal, put it in there, and then she rewound time to before Alex even met Rose. And so we go back to the bar, and Alex is in the bar, and Billy is like, Alex sends Billy a drink, but Billy remembers everything now because she got the crystal still. She didn't give it to the voodoo priest and shit. She remembers everything now, so she sent a drink back. She like, oh no, I'm good. You probably gonna need it though. And then she goes to the little curating thing, the photography thing, the art thing, and then sees her ex, and her ex try to get with her, and she's just like, nah, I'm good. Da, 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 da. And so now she's supposed to be a bigger, better, badder bitch and shit, because now she has experienced all this stuff, and she's seen all the outcomes to all her fucked up decisions that she's made, and that's been made for her. And so she's supposed to be like smarter. And then she sees Rose, and they just give each other a nod, and I'm just like, you still ain't trying to date black bitches. But Rose said that she had the crystal first, and she was dating Alex, and Alex broke up with her, and she used the crystal on Alex, and she was just like, oh well, it made me into something that I just regret, and I just, the crystal turns you into a different person, and I still feel like it ain't doing that much turning. Something was in you. So it's probably a good idea not to even talk to Rose like that either. So, but hopefully I hope she branches out to black women. And because you see, when you dating these white people and these others, like, apparently you pick toxic ones, or they're attracted to you or some shit. And maybe you need to do some soul searching on that and some shit. You know what I mean? Like, what... It's okay to date others, I guess. That's none of my business, but you need to actually be in love with people and shit. And I just feel like she ain't actually in love with these people. I feel like it's something else going on there that got to do with, like, maybe she don't like herself, because she described herself as damaged goods in the beginning of the show because she got that memory shit going on. So she already started off not liking herself. And when you don't like yourself already, that is blood in the water to these narcissistic, manipulative ass parasites. So, if you just happen to like white ones that are narcissistic, you going to allow them to attach to you. And I was just so mad that both of them was on this white bitch, and I was just like, what is the appeal? Is it because she's toxic? Is it she's giving that air of toxicity, and you are mistaking that for confidence? No, that's what you do when you hurt inside and you don't like yourself. You get attracted to like toxic people, and you mistake that for confidence in the beginning. So when they start hurting you and doing fuck shit, you think it's your fault, because now the confident person in the beginning that you met that was nice to you and cared about you has flipped the script and it must be me. No, it's not. They weren't, that wasn't confidence. That was arrogance. You just didn't fucking know, honey. You just didn't know. So anyways, that is Jagged Mind. And like I said, I like the plot because I feel like this is what happened in relationships. If you've been in anything toxic or abusive, whether it's been a relationship, a friendship, growing up with parents that have been abusive, there are large swaths of time that you do not fucking remember. Because once you get your nervous system used to dissociating, it'll just dissociate at any heightened emotion, even happy emotions. I've had clients take whole trips, vacations, where because they were so happy and had such a heightened emotion of happiness, their nervous system just said, oh, there's high emotions here, dissociate. And they come back from their trip, they don't remember shit from their trip. So that's why they got to take a bunch of pictures and shit just to remember shit, because they don't remember nothing. So that's why you can't like lean into dissociation. Now there's a way you can like finesse dissociation and use it to your own benefit. Like I do it where when I'm walking around, everybody's an NPC character, but I'm still present. I'm just focusing on things that I want to focus on, like how pretty the tree is and how bright the sky is, and not that nigga cat calling me, and I will just dissociate from the emotions that are surrounding that nigga cat calling me, and I'll just act like, and I won't remember shit like that after going on a trip or doing something fun. So you can finesse it to where you can get to the point where you can control what you dissociate and what you don't dissociate, so you can still remain present and remember shit. But it takes not dissociating for a long time and actually being present with stuff, so you can learn what to dissociate from and what to not dissociate from. And that shit's hard, but it's doable. But to let dissociation lead, then you ain't gonna remember shit. Anytime you get too happy, anytime you get too sad, anytime you get too much emotions, your nervous system will click on that dissociation. And that's why like people that have had like severe childhood abuse and shit, they will not remember large portions of their childhood. Like I have clients that be like, I don't remember shit before the age of 11. And I'd be like, how do you not? All of it? All of elementary school is just gone? Wow. I mean, I remember bits and pieces of it and shit. Like, it's not just all gone. I remember when my mom took me to Disney World when I was 4. Like, and that's when I started to realize like dissociation ain't no fucking game and shit. Like memory repression, where your brain just sucked down a memory and shit and to protect you from it, but your body's still responding as if that shit is happening today. It's real. And so I like this movie because it made me think about that. It made me feel like the plot was amazing. I wish not even the story, but more so just how they set it up, and like the acting was a little bit more like actor level, but it wasn't horrible or nothing. It's a good watch, and it makes you think, especially if you think from trauma. Basically, if you think from trauma, you can relate to all this shit in here. If you take out the voodoo piece, because like I said, white people can't do voodoo. I mean, you could try, and I hope that the ancient African gods don't kill you. The Orishas and the Lua and the black ancestors that were murdered by your ancestors and shit, I hope they don't kill you. No, because that's what happens, and you're not paying attention and shit. Just like if your ancestors was part of the Crusades and was killing off the witches and the Celts and the Romanis and shit, like you can't practice them religions. Them gods will come and kill you. Like, fucking shit you talking about? So it applies to any ancestral beings that have destroyed the main people and the countries and the temples where those religions were based. it applies to y'all. Like, why do you think those guys would want you to call? Like, anybody could have a Greek god as a familiar, because they didn't blow up Greece and enslave their people or kill. Like, nobody really did that. So, like, I mean, they had that. The Ottoman Empire was over there, so they had that shit going on. So maybe if you was doing shit like that and your ancestors was doing shit like that, but like otherwise, like, you could have a Hermes as a spiritual deity that you call on. You could have a Zeus and a Persephone's and shit like that, but like, you ain't gonna have no about Papa Legba and shit, nigga. Like, what is you talking about? No, that shit pissed me off. Like, what is you fucking talking about, honey? Like, you ain't gonna have them black people coming and helping you do nothing. Like, I'm confused why you thought that you could take the black religion and just make it and colonize it. Like, you colonize the black religion's people and their countries and their temples, and you can't white people can't do voodoo or hoodoo or nothing like that. But like, as far as memory goes, like, this shit is amazing. Like, I liked it. I thought it was interesting, that like the plot and the story, and just rewinding time. And then her brain was getting fucked up, like your brain gets fucked up when you're severely traumatized. Like, your hypothalamus shrinks and shit. That's like the emotional center of the brain and stuff like that, because your brain goes into survival mode and it increases blood flow to the places that that you need to use for survival versus the places that you don't. So your emotional center, like, we ain't trying to focus on emotions when we trying to survive and shit, like, shit like that. So like, your memory center, if you dissociating a lot, then the places that control your memories is shrinking and doing shit. Like, your brain structures actually change when you are going through severe trauma consistently back to back like that. And so I liked it. So I would suggest watching it. It's a good movie. It's called Jagged Mind, and you got to watch it from a trauma perspective. And if you watch it from a trauma perspective, it's like, oh shit, like, this shit has probably happened to me or people that I know, and this is fucked up. This bitch is a sociopath or a narcissist or something. She's a manipulative, emotionally abusive or something. Because she just, basically what she did was, she like, when it didn't go right with the girl, because the girl always broke up with her. Billy always broke up with her. But she, like, when she would break up with her, she would just kill her and start all over again. She would kill her, grab some blood, and rewind the clock. And I was just like, but it's just like in Doctor Who. When you got like fixed moments in time, they said in Doctor Who, when you got fixed moments in time, you can't change them fixed moments in time. So if a person's supposed to be dead, they're going to die. And if a person is, I think her breaking up with her is a fixed moment in time. You ain't going to stop this woman from breaking up with you. And then just on top of that, you was a bitch. Like, maybe if you changed who you were and weren't so controlling and weird, but that would even mean that you would have to get rid of that crystal, then you probably could have had a viable relationship with this person. But no, you're controlling, you're weird, you're not allowing her to have the friendships that she's cultivated over years. You're not allowing her to be, like, when she kept looking at her phone because she had to go to the art museum, even when her ex didn't text her like the last time and she invited her to the art thing, like, she still was looking at her like sideways, and then she didn't even want to be at the art thing. It was just like, but this is the thing that she likes. This is what makes her as interesting as she is. This is what makes her interesting enough for you to talk to her, and you basically treating her shit like her shit ain't shit. Like, I don't, why that's why I don't get abuser. I mean, I get it, but it's just stupid. That's what it is. I just think they're stupid. Like, it's just like, you doing shit to hurt yourself. You objectify people because you see something interesting in them that they could probably fulfill in you, but then you take away all the things that make them interesting and then get mad that they're not interesting anymore. You isolate them, like, slowly brainwash and manipulate them so that they won't hang out with their friends anymore. You probably physically or emotionally abuse them. Anything that they enjoy, you're putting down. Like, of course, they're not going to be the same person that you fell in love with. You took the shit that made them that person. It's stupid. It's dumb. Like, unless you love yourself enough to allow somebody else to love themselves enough to choose you, you ain't never gonna have a happy relationship. And it's always going to be chaos and bullshit and fuckery until either you end up alone for the rest of your life, or you end up in some weird ass abusive relationship, or your partner ends up snapping and leaving you or murdering you, or you end up killing somebody. But it's always going to be chaos. It's never going to be happy. And that's what these people set themselves up for. And I just be like, why? Like, I like rest and relaxation. I don't like chaos. Like, don't you want to take a nap sometimes? Don't you want to read a book? Like, oh, you don't have hobbies. Your hobbies is me. Okay. I see what's going on. Your hobby is me. Okay. That's toxic. I don't have it. So yeah, I would suggest y'all check out this movie, and it's on Hulu. It's called Jagged Mind. And we'll see what I show you next week. But hello, new subscribers. What is it? Hello, world. The sun says hello, or some shit that he said on Willy Wonka. But thank you so much, and I really appreciate that y'all like watching my stuff. Like, I literally just do this just for fun because I like psychology, and my mom was a cinephile, so like I turned into a cinephile. I love cinema. It's like art. It is art, but it's amazing. And so sometimes I'll pick something that's really popular. Sometimes I'll just pick some random shit that, like this movie, because I thought the concept was interesting. But y'all, I hope y'all enjoy it, and I hope y'all come. I'm just a real bitch, so like, I'm just gonna be myself. So like, I don't got no names for y'all. I ain't probably not gonna say I love y'all, because that's an important phrase, and I feel like certain people deserve to be given that phrase, and so I'm not just going to blanket statement a phrase that's that important to me to everybody. I will say that I appreciate the fact that y'all took your time to want to watch my stuff, because you didn't have to. And so it makes me feel good. It warms my heart that people out there enjoy watching this little channel I got here. So I hope you keep watching. I try to post once a week. Sometimes I might take a hiatus here and there. I'm not gonna let you know when I take a hiatus, because like I said, people objectify you, and then when you tell them that you're taking a break or some shit like that, or you're going on a vacation or some shit like that, then all of a sudden you got a stalker. So it may just happen that I take a few weeks off sometimes, and it's just, it is what it is. But for the most part, I've been keeping up with once a week. In the fall, I do Abbott Elementary for the most part, and then when Abbott Elementary has a break, then I'll throw in like another different movie or show or something that I watch for the week. And then Abbott Elementary, P-Valley, and Euphoria are like the shows that I've like been, when they're on, that I've been consistent with each episode. So when they're on, it's probably going to be mostly videos about those shows. But for overall, like, I just do random shit. Whatever catches my eye that seems interesting, got black folks in it doing stuff and living their life. So if you want to learn about mental health and have fun with it, and learn about like social stuff and racism and all the things, enjoy, come on down and come on down and shit, and I hope you enjoy it and stuff. So anyways, I'm gonna go to sleep because it's nighttime, and so later days.